This week's episode of Wine Wars is sponsored by Wink. The weather is damn near perfect here in Madison this past weekend, and we've been drinking some white wine. In our shipment of Wink wine this month, we got a bottle of 2016 Funk Zone White Blend from Santa Barbara, California. This is a mix of Sauvignon Blanc, Viognier, Chenin Blanc, so many Blancs you aren't going to know what to do yourself. And this is a wonderful tasting little white wine. It's got some peach, it's got some cream, got a little bit of lime. This is a wonderful wine to have on a budding spring, almost summer day. As long as you chill at 55 degrees Fahrenheit, no more, no less. It's perfect to enjoy at that temperature. If you would like to try a bottle of Funk Zone White Blend, you can do so by going to trywink.com/winewars for $20 off your first shipment and free shipping right to your door. If you haven't heard of Wink before, they are a monthly wine club that is catered directly to your taste. So maybe you don't like the Funk Zone White Blend, you prefer sweet Riesling. That's fine. Point that out to them. They will cater their wines directly for you. Again, that is trywink.com/winewars for free shipping and $20 off your first purchase from Wink. This week's episode of Wine Wars is also sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/winewars, get a free audiobook and 30-day free trial of Audible. If you're like me and you try to read a book on paperback or hardback, you're going to fall asleep in about 15 minutes, which is great if you have insomnia, but bad if you're trying to learn things, which is why I listen to a lot of audiobooks with Audible. Audible has a seemingly endless number of books to listen to. No matter what you're into, they got you covered, and no matter what system you use, they got you covered. It works with Apple products, it works with Android, it works right on your computer. No matter what you use, they're going to get sounds into your ears. Again, go to audibletrial.com/winewars for a free audiobook and 30-day free trial of Audible. Wine Wars is now also an affiliate of Amazon. I know you shop on Amazon, everyone does. You probably got a box or two waiting on your porch for when you get home from work today. So if you're going to shop on Amazon, you can click through our website, winewarspodcast.com, go to the support tab. There's a hyperlink to Amazon. And anything you purchase through that hyperlink, we get a small cut of. It costs you nothing additional, and it's a great free way for you to be able to help support the show. There will also be a hyperlink in the show notes from today's episode. Again, free way to help support the show, costs you nothing at all, and we greatly appreciate it. Hello, Wine Warriors. It is I, your penultimate host, Scott. If you're listening to this, you've probably already picked up that this episode is a two-parter, and you've probably already listened to the first part. If you haven't, go back, because this will make no sense to you. So in this episode, we're going to wrap up talking about Sonoma, and then we get into some discussion about Solo, a Star Wars story. So let's join the conversation already in progress. Enjoy the show.
Previously on Wine Wars.
Amy, have you started using a hummingbird feeder? I have a gorgeous hummingbird feeder. I don't know where to put it. I kind of want to put it near my window so that I can see the birds a little closer, but I'm also concerned about birds flying into the window.
Or I ordered from Amazon for just $8 bird deflectors, and they're really rather classy. I have sort of a frosted looking circle. But since I put them up, I have not had any sort of bird window collision.
Welcome back to Bird is the Word.
Talk about birds. Talk about organic yarn.
The word is such a great name. No, I just joined this Facebook group for bird memes. People are crazy.
Yeah,
Wait,
people are. Wine Wars, the show with four friends who love three things: wine and Star Wars.
So listeners, if you're not on Instagram, you should get on Instagram because there's a really great video of Scott sabering open a bottle of Blanc de Blanc.
With his lightsaber.
Earlier, I asked him if
Which
how
they,
it felt
I didn't think they...
Yeah, it wasn't
to
that
do
heavy.
that, and he was like, it just felt like, like pulling out a sword and knocking open a bottle of wine. Like, it was like, I gotta tell you.
You didn't sell that, bro.
And also, like, not a good frame of reference. Like, I don't know what it feels like to, like, pull out a sword and knock open a bottle of wine. And
Yeah.
Well, you will in a couple weeks. So our third day, we self-guided our
what
tours.
does that mean? Does anyone know?
You'll have to find out.
Sounds like a surprise.
Damn.
Did you buy a sword?
Did you buy a sword?
I did not buy a sword.
I got a guy. I got a red.
He's got a really nice butter knife.
It's a 21st century, Jason. I got a girl. I don't got a guy. I got a girl.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, he's got a broad.
I got a broad. Okay, so our third day, what Amy's talking about here, our third day, so the first 2 days were very heavy on the reds. And we self-guided on the third day, and Jake the wino, our tour guide from Flex Wines, suggested we wanted to go to a place that did sparkling wine. And he suggested this place called Breathless Wines. And we didn't really know what to expect from it, so it was quite a ways north in Sonoma, and we put in the GPS, the address, and we start driving towards it. And I'm looking at their website, and it says like $60 you can savor a wine, or $50 to savor a wine. And they're, I kind of mentioned that in the car, and everyone's like, "Do that! You're gonna do that!"
Worth it.
But it's in like a industrial park,
Heldsburg,
California. So we drive up, and it's like we're used to where we were the last few days. It was like on the vineyard site, et cetera, et cetera. This is like an industrial park. Like a warehouse, and we drive up, and there it is, just the storefront, and they're making the wines in that building. So again, they're sourcing grapes from the vineyards, but this is a winery created by three sisters, and again,
in honor of their mother's memory, because she felt that life should be lived to the fullest, and that breathless moments should be appreciated with your friends and family, and your loved ones, and so. We've got the winemaker, Lady.
Yep. Love it.
Oh, the happy sound.
I love the label on this wine.
Yes, it's very kind of what
they have a very
Art Deco.
I've seen that
That is
picture
kind of
before.
Art Deco-y.
Yeah, Art Deco, old Hollywood glam kind of
tanagery
theme in their shop.
I looked at that exact, and that image has to be famous. The lady kind of in the swimsuit sitting on top of the champagne bottle.
Yeah, so
it definitely looks like what you just said about like living life to the fullest and all that shit.
all that nonsense.
When we sat down and tasted their bubbles, because we did like a bubbles flight, they brought out chips.
Oh, hell yes. Andrea would be so happy.
I know.
Andrea from Square Wine Company, episode something, look it up.
Episode, edit that in later, Scott. And
do we want chips?
I think we have chips, right? I couldn't find chips.
Chips are open.
Just saying, do we want to make that happen? I saw some Lay's open.
Let's do it. So their portfolio at Breathless, as Amy said, they have a Blanc de Blanc, 100% Chardonnay. They have Blanc de Noir, so made from the reds, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. They have a blend of all three. And then they also have a Moscato, but it's a drier Moscato, and it was really good.
It was, when I tasted
I'm
it.
definitely making a face that's like saying to you,
I know.
I'm not sure I believe you.
I know, Anne.
Moscato.
Let's not do that Moscato.
But seriously,
Right.
I tasted it and I was like, oh, holy shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, I made sure that we got one.
Well, yeah, and here we have one at home that we'll pour for you someday because we became members.
So basically what has happened is you spent $300 a month for the rest of your life.
Let's not talk about but here's the great thing about Breathless Wine. So actually, let's talk about the wine first, and then I'll do my pitch.
The crunching is the potato chips. I can't help it, Scott. I'm sorry. But you have to have potato chips with bubbles.
I don't disagree.
This is living life. This is
I agree.
this is what it's about.
I actually wish I didn't know this. So like you take your champagne habit or sparkling wine, and then you add the salt of the potato chip, and now it's just double fatting for the both of us.
So good.
But it is so good.
So they make their wines in the traditional champagne style. So they do the second fermentation in bottle. And I believe...
Well, who does the riddling?
A computer.
Oh, man.
Yep. A computer.
Really
Systematic riddling.
That's so California.
Yes, ma'am.
It's just the machine that grabs the whole bucket of probably
it's a rack
300 wines and turns it.
You got it.
Yeah, but no one has carpal tunnel, and that's nice.
You got it. And I was looking to see how long it was on the lease.
The Riddler, 5,000.
can't see.
That's what I would have called
I
it.
believe it was at least a year on the lees. I don't see it on the website. But after you drink that, what price point you think that's sitting at, Anne?
I think you could put that up against the big boys.
Yeah.
I bet you $35.
Anne?
I'm gonna say $45.
32 American.
Really?
The only
This is
reason
the-
only
wow.
reason I said that was because you made it seem as though it's going to be far more affordable than you think.
Yep.
So I probably would have said $60, just like kind of the other
Really?
price
Yeah.
range.
You would get 60?
But,
Yeah.
but you tried to trick me.
I know.
And
If
then
you
I
put
knew.
this next to any of those French wines we've had recently, I would have not been able to tell this was California, I don't think.
No.
Exactly.
No.
Again, so, looking for that old world style in California, you can find it. Their wines largely in the upper mid to 20s, mid 30s. They have, if you want to get a Magnum, I think that's like $80, but for the most part, all their wines are going to be $20 to $30.
But when
I would say this is not as biscuity as you would get out of a.
Sure. Yeah.
It's there, but maybe not as much.
yeah. One thing that they did tell us about their winemaker, she's very discerning. Wasn't there like a whole batch of wine that she was just like, nope, just dump it. It's no good.
Well, not dump it so
Well-
much, but don't put it out under our name.
Don't
Right.
dump it.
You sell it off.
You
it
can
to-
sell this
yeah.
to somebody else. But yeah, she was like, don't put our name on this. This is not good.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
they're again another super young 2-3 years, and they've been winning awards already. You can see right on the bottle. They've got a
Right.
best in class in LA.
And what I want to say is that I don't think that the wine that they were like, no, that's not good enough for us. I don't think it was bad wine. It was just not true to who they are and who like the profiles that they're trying to put out and say this is what we want to be known for.
I gotcha.
So-
They know what their brand is, and they
Yeah.
are going to stay true to it.
Because I'm sure it was still amazing wine if like this is what they're making and it's like, holy shit, amazing wine.
Did you say if this was Blanc de Blanc?
Yes.
I should have known that you wouldn't have bought it. Amy wouldn't have bought it if it wasn't.
Well, we got some that are
You did.
full blends and the Moscato. And again, they do have a wine club, and their wine club is super affordable. So we signed up for their 6 bottles. So once a year, you get six bottles, and they're $20 to $25.
Is it one shipment of 6 bottles?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can set up. You can really set it up to be whatever you want. If you want to get 6 every 6 months, you could do that, no problem.
But a lot of them are super smart about not shipping in the summer.
Yeah, no one will ship in summer, won't ship in the dead of winter,
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Of course not.
Yep.
spring and fall.
Yep.
Yep. So back to Amy's initial intro of this and sabering. For those not familiar, what sabering is? Do you know where it originated? Anyone of you know where it originated?
I assume it was samurais who wanted to drink their wine. Is
I'm
that
gonna
correct?
say Napoleon.
Ding ding.
Yeah.
I think I was really solid with my samurais.
It's the same thing as Napoleon.
He had a sword.
Because he had a sword, yeah.
Exactly. So sabering is essentially what it sounds like. You use a sword to knock the top off of a bottle of sparkling wine or champagne in Napoleon's, history.
And it's not like it sounds. It's not like you're chopping the top off.
No.
You go sideways against the...
You slide. So if you want to try this at home, and I do not recommend you do that because of liability reasons, but you take off all of the
All of the foil.
Foil.
Full foil. He's going all the way down the neck on this.
and you find
It's defoiled.
I've just defoiled the wine. You find there's going to be a seam where here we go. So it's on my side. There's a seam where the bottle meets where it's made. So this point up near the top of the ridge where you pour the wine and that seam meet, that's the weakest spot in the bottle.
Makes sense.
So you take a saber, and wine sabers are specifically designed to have a flat blade on the front. You don't want a sharp edge hitting that
So what
glass.
if you only had a katana? Would you just use the back of it?
You could, yes. So you want to use the dull flat side of a blade. You don't want to use the sharp side.
So when I'm using my
did not know
kitchen
that.
knife,
Yep,
I use the
I did not know
back
that.
side of the kitchen knife.
exactly.
Okay.
Wear protective glove, wear protective eyewear because glass will be flying.
shards can go far.
However, the reason this is safe to drink out of after the fact is because there's so much pressure in the bottle, as we've learned from previous episodes. See episode, enter the number in later, Scott.
Oh, it just blows it out.
Yep. So it hits the spot. The whole top
Degorgement.
the whole top flies off, and you have a really clean cut
So the
Around the
glass
glass.
actually breaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally thought
is
it was
not the
just the
cork.
cork.
No.
No one tells me anything.
The whole
I
top comes
swear.
off.
Scott's
It's like-
telling you.
It's like you should get a podcast that you can then learn things
And
from.
people could tell me things. That would be great.
You sound concussed.
Sound.
So that is Sabring. So I did that at their property. And the funny thing with it, so we showed up and they
How
were
much wine do you lose during
Little.
the decor?
Very little.
hardly any.
Okay.
No, really, you just saw like the cork and the glass around the cork go flying. They have like a special area for
where they stage it. They stage the people who are gonna.
it's just like a rock garden so that nobody's gonna walk barefoot out there.
And it was kind of funny. So we said, they signed me up to do this thing, and the other people, there were maybe 3 or 4 other groups in the area drinking wine, and they come out and I start putting gloves on. I have to sign a legal waiver in case of any injury
Or death.
or death.
They really America to that.
Yeah. I read through the legal language. I'm like, all right, checks out. Signed it.
Napoleon didn't make you sign a waiver.
And then they start walking us up to this staging area, which is kind of up a hill at the top of their little plot of land here. And everyone starts standing up and turning around like, what's going on?
What is Lady Hawk about to do?
And it was kind
That's
of
a
funny.
really
Everyone
old reference.
busts out their phones, and there was a big countdown and everything. So you can see that video on our Instagram, or if you go to our website, you can see I'll put a link in this episode.
Wine Wars Podcast on Instagram. Check it out.
winewarspodcast.com.
It's awesome.
So this
Wow.
Ehlers was probably my favorite that we found, but Breathless is right behind it.
Oh, I think it's a tie between them. They're just both doing such different things that it's hard to pick one above the other.
I love that because Breathless, I mean, you're saying there's a garden and a hill, but you're also saying it's a warehouse or a
It's like an
park.
industrial complex.
It's really cool.
Yeah. So
Kind of
that-
like that place we went to in Oregon, which was like
the urban winery type thing. Absolutely.
Oh, Southeast Wine Collective.
Yep.
I have a listener headed there this week.
Really?
On our recommendation. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. If anyone is traveling out to Oregon, go to the Southeast Wine Collective.
And ask for the Gluggable wines.
Cluggable Wines and buy the shirt, City of Rosés.
We still owe them cheese curds. We said
We never did it?
Oh my God, we never sent them.
Oh, I feel
it's
terrible.
lost in the mail.
Yeah, maybe our lady's
It's going to
still
be
there.
some good curds.
But cheese curds supposed to be greenish
10-year
brown.
age.
Well, they're from Wisconsin and they like the Packers.
Green and gold.
So there you go. Then we capped off our whole trip. We went to, where was the last place we went? Meeker.
Oh, that was the end, huh?
That was the end of it.
We
Yep.
ended
We
it
had
on
Molly
Meeker.
Meeker on episode Fill in the Blank here.
Like 7 or 8 or 9 or something like that. So they have a tasting room. They no longer have like a winery site that you go to, but it was in like an old bank. So like there's a giant vault door that swings open and stuff.
Cool.
So
They
Did
went
you
from-
meet the Doodles?
Did you?
no. No, they it was just the woman pouring. I don't remember her
Yeah, I think
name.
Molly was on a business trip.
Yeah,
and
like she just left.
we like missed her by like hours.
Oh.
I should tell a quick story. I was at so the impetus for our fish taco night tonight was I was in Key West for the whole weekend, and so I went and got fish tacos solo, and I was beard out, so I was
Fish taco solo.
like, oh.
Oh my God.
and
So dorky. I want to
So-
break up.
Can you break up with a podcast? So I was all beard out, and I was looking at the whites, and I was like, you can't really have whites with fish tacos, can you? 'Cause of the
Absolutely.
But so I came to the conclusion, well, let's get this nice Albarino. So tonight we had some spicy fish tacos with a nice Spanish Albarino.
Yeah. And that's a
That's
grape
so
that
good.
we've neglected on the show.
Yeah.
We'll get to that this summer, I think.
I think we'll probably do a lot more dishes that go well with Albarino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see that happening.
So then the tying it back to the Meekers, I had way more time before my flight kicked off because I had, for some reason, a 4 p.m. out of Key West. And so I went to a little wine bar that was right across.
Don't you
from,
love when Jason complains about being stuck in Key West? I certainly
is
do.
hard.
I do. I love
I've
those
never
text
been
messages.
stuck in Key
here
West.
was the problem was it was beautiful the whole time I was there. Of course, it's Key West. But right before I left, it was a monsoon for the entire morning, and I had 4 or 5 hours to kill by myself. So I was, drinking. So I went to a wine bar that was across from my hotel, and I was really surprised at the wines that this little wine bar had. So I got a nice little white. I read my book, Station 11, for a good 2 hours. And
That sounds like the perfect day to me. A rainstorm in the tropics with
was not what I was
wine and
planning
a
to do
book.
that
Oh my
day.
god,
That does sound really great.
Honestly, I
was
can't
there a
get-
hammock? Because like
so I almost bought a hammock. Speaking of hammocks, because
There was a hammock sale.
There's a whole Key West hammock store, and so they have really kick-ass hammocks there, and of all the colors in the rainbow, and they're super comfortable. I was like, can I fit this in my suitcase?
How much is it going to take for me to get you in a
You're gonna-
hammock today?
I literally almost just picked one and brought it home. So anyway,
Yeah, how is this related to Meeker?
At the wine place, I was really impressed that this little wine shop in Key West had Meekers, they had Hartford. And
Hartford?
they had all the handprint Merlots all signed to the store. So obviously,
Oh, wow.
You didn't tell me that.
yeah.
No one tells me anything.
Their wine selection was killer there.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's awesome.
at Meeker, there was not a single wine that I did not like.
That's the problem
It
with.
was like going to the animal shelter. I just wanted to take them all home.
And they probably had 20 options on pour, somewhere around the 15 to 20.
Yeah, they
And
had.
It's all good.
It's all
Yeah,
really good.
it wasn't. A lot of these places would have like maybe 6.
Yeah, 6 to 8.
Yeah, and they had like double, triple that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even
They make a late
And
harvest
they were
zin that we
probably the
bought.
tiniest
Cool.
wine
Dessert wine.
the tiniest wine tasting room with the largest selection of wines.
True.
So if you want bang for your buck, people, go to Meeker Wine.
even Meeker's roller coaster is just a bargain. And that's like their blend of all the stuff that's left over at the end of the season.
Didn't we
It's great.
have a bottle of roller coaster explode on
Yep,
episode?
insert episode number here.
You got a lot of research to do when you get home.
I'm not doing any of that.
You guys had a great trip.
We really did, and you need to come with next time.
I really want to.
Absolutely.
We will. It's there.
And if listeners are pondering about going, it is not cheap. As prefaced earlier, it is going to be expensive, travel and tastings. And if you get a guided tour, you got to pay for them as well.
It's Disneyland for dinks.
Absolutely. But it's a great experience. And if you really don't be afraid to ask questions, don't be afraid to like, hey, can we walk through the vineyard? Hey, can we go into your cellar or whatever? Like that. Make the most of it.
Did you see any cork trees?
No.
No, but we saw tons of olive trees.
Oh yeah.
Some more of that
So
champagne.
many olive trees.
Some more Blanc de Blanc.
Isn't there just sort of a pace in Napa and Sonoma that's nice to be in for a
Yeah.
week?
It was really fun. We went to so many different wineries, and more than one taught me the term cougar juice.
What does this
Cougar
mean?
juice. Oh yeah, this is a thing out
so
there.
like you get drunk?
No,
It's
this
a
is
specific type of wine.
this
Oh.
is like the super buttery shards that the ladies with the
Oh,
football
sure.
shaped haircuts all go out for their girls' weekend getaway or whatever, and they're like, "We just want to drink shard."
I
and
can
you know
picture
what?
it exactly.
If you want to, that's fine.
I used to
Not
like the cougar
judging.
juice.
Yeah, and so that was a term that we learned was the cougar juice.
That's
and,
really funny.
yeah, and
Big buttery California shard.
yeah, it's basically
Yeah.
what that is. They just, a great book club wine.
Yeah,
I would think.
I still like a cougar juice now and again.
Oh, hell yeah. I am not dissing on
No?
the cougar juice. I'm like, yeah, I'm a participant.
Yeah.
And
You know
then,
what? I would. Speaking of cougar juice, I think we should do a high.
Does this have something to do with your trip to Florida?
Yes. So there we were. What I think we should do is a high end Chardonnay, like $40 and up Chardonnays.
Easy. It's called Burgundy.
True, but like California's like because Mr. Rumbauer just died, and I've always wanted to try like high-end, like the nice Chardonnays, nice
How
rum
respectfully
bowers.
you are and call him Mr.
Well, I
Can
can't
we,
remember his first name.
Make sure and make a note of that and make that happen.
Yeah.
You got a splurge episode coming up, Jay?
Oh,
Ooh.
let's do that for my splurge episode.
If you want to, we totally could.
How lame would that be?
It's not lame at all.
I can't believe Jason's doing cougar
High-end
juice for
Chardonnay,
You know
California.
what? It just shows the whole point of this podcast is to teach people and
Evolve.
make things evolve, make things more approachable, because 5 years ago, could you imagine him actively seeking out a rosé?
No, the other day I said it seems like a good day for a rosé because it's a beautiful summer day in Wisconsin. And he said, what day isn't a good day for a rosé?
And yeah, he never would have said that 5 years ago.
I know.
I don't even know who the fuck I am anymore.
You're reinventing yourself like David Bowie, and it's awesome.
Yeah, this is super Bowie. It's not super Bowie at all.
It's the opposite
It's
of Bowie.
not Bowie.
He's
Bowie's
wearing a
probably
baseball
like,
hat.
We got to get to heroin.
I don't think he ever did heroin. Did a lot of coke.
Coke guy.
And then he sobered up in the 90s.
Yeah, another term that we learned was slap the bag.
Hello.
No, thank you.
And I think I think it's a reference to box wine, where you're passing it around.
Pass it around the frat or the sorority. And every time you pass it,
Yeah,
give it a
slap
little
the bag.
slappy.
That's funny. Is that like how we do boots and we click them with our fingers?
Maybe.
Slap the bag, click the boot.
Maybe.
So literally, people are like drinking.
You take the bag
bag
out
of
of the
wine?
box and you slap it and pass it.
Oh, yeah. So that's
you're
like,
like-
the boot.
So you're like,
Do a hit.
Yeah, maybe we should explain the boot to people who don't live in Wisconsin.
Do people not know about the boot?
Not everybody knows about
Come
the
it's
boot.
a German thing.
Yeah, they don't
Okay,
know.
so boot.
Okay. So in places in Wisconsin, beer is served in a glass boot. Like
Large, like an actual boot.
yeah, like a cowboy boot made out of glass that you pour beer into. And how many ounces do you think that holds?
It's got to be 32 ounces of beer.
At least 32 ounces.
Gallon and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like
At
what?
least.
Like a liter?
Oh, you're jumping all these different measurements.
Well, I'm trying to cater to our international audience.
Oh,
You mean Sven?
Okay. So anyway, just imagine a cowboy boot made of glass full of beer.
and usually like micro brew hardcore shit.
Yeah, and there's not a handle on this dainty little glass.
No, you're two hands.
It is a fucking boot, and
Weighs
you
10
use
pounds.
2 hands, and you hold this thing up to your face, and you drink it like
The
a
only
caveman.
hindrance to drinking is the weight.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And so, and then when you're done, you flick it with your fingernail.
And then you pass it to the next
Then
person.
pass it, and you cannot put it down. That's
Right.
the other part
Yeah.
of the
Right.
game.
If you set it down, then you have to drink the whole thing, right?
That's supposed to be the
That, and then you're also trying to make sure you're not the last
You have to
rule. You
buy
don't want
the
to be
next
the
round.
if you're the last person, you're supposed to buy the next round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're trying not to be the last person.
You also don't want the backwash.
And then also, too, if you put it down, I think it's dick out, right? Like you have to play the rest of the...
Dick out?
What does that mean?
No, I'm just kidding. That's like in golf. If you don't hit it past the ladies' tee, you have to play with the rest of the hole with your
Oh
dick
my
out.
God, this is fucking 2018. I'm not Me Too golfing.
I don't know what this dick out thing is, but tell me more.
You guys really don't know about dick out, huh?
No, tell
no,
me.
I usually hit it past the women's tees.
I don't. I am very bad at golf.
I have sunburn on my penis
Do you guys
right
remember
now.
the time we were at a friend's house and we didn't have a boot, so we did it out of a... I think this was my idea. We did it out of
Out of a flower
Vase?
vase.
a flower
Yes.
vase.
Yeah, we dumped out the flowers and the
Yep.
water, and we put the beer in it, and then we flicked it with our fingernail. We dinged it like
I was
Flick the dick. Is that what it is?
out drunk from that.
Flick the dick
that
out.
was a fun night.
And somebody else had made marshmallow infused vodka that I was also enjoying at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow. You lived through this night.
You were
That's
there.
why she didn't notice the
I
bats clinging to the balcony.
Yeah, we didn't tell you about that.
No,
Are you kidding me?
they were
No.
like
At
right
our
behind you.
No.
I would have really freaked out because I have been attacked by bats.
Because you're sitting there telling me the story about how you've been attacked by bats and you hate bats, and right behind you is a bat clinging
Are you
to
kidding?
the railing.
This is the first I've heard of this.
They were definitely flying behind you.
Oh, they were flying all over, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna say
Well,
anything.
it was agreed by everyone on the table on this side of the table to not tell you. We all, like, just with eye movement, were like,
I never knew this. This was like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, we all swore solemn silence to not tell you that you were surrounded by bats.
It's all coming back to
I
me.
would have been stressed out, but
concussed.
also I've had the full rabies series, so you're the people who were.
I didn't know you had that.
I did.
Tell us about that.
Okay, quick
First
story.
there was Rabies series and the Sorcerer's Stone. And then there was
No, this was a long time ago because I was out for a jog at dusk. Can you even imagine? So there I was.
You running?
jogging. Here I am.
yogging.
Jogging. And something hit my head and it hit sort of my eyelid and my eyebrow, and I felt it for sure, and it pushed off of me and left a long scratch along my eyebrow and my eyelid. And if I thought I was being pranked or something, because it was just this huge thing had hit me, touched me, pushed off of me, and I'm standing there and I didn't see anything anywhere, but there were a lot of bats. And then I was at work, and a woman who was, whatever, emergency certified or whatever, she's like, and this is the right thing to do. She pulled me aside confidentially to ask if I was being abused, which is the right thing to do. And this sounds completely like bullshit, because I was like, no, I was jogging and something, I have no idea what hit me. And she was like,
It's
but
okay, Ann.
you look scratched. And I was like, I definitely feel scratched. And I said, I saw these bats. And she goes, oh my God, have you called a doctor? And I said, no. And she said, call a doctor immediately. I called the doctor, told him my story. And he said, well, you have two options. One, you can come in, you can get the rabies series. Or two, we can wait and see if you die.
You went with option one, huh?
I went with option one. And I showed up at the doctor's office, and they pull my pants down. I'm on the table on my stomach, and they have to put 2 enormous shots into my butt cheeks, and then 2 enormous shots into the closest place where you were injured.
Oh.
It used to be
closest
straight in
artery?
your tummy, but that's
Right.
changed. And
Right.
now so they put it into my, what's this called? Trapezius,
Yeah,
neck
shoulder
muscles.
muscles.
And he was like, this is kind of a big deal. We don't do a lot of rabies around here. So I'm bringing in the whole class. So it was
Everyone was excited.
a whole
We got a
class of
rabies
people.
case.
And literally, I'm not making this up, face down. There's a crowd of people behind me looking at my ass cheeks. And I heard a collective gasp, when he pulled out the needles, because they're huge.
Oh, I thought they did that because they saw how white your
My
ass
sweet
was.
ass. That sweet ass. No, it was these huge fat needles. And then I had to get one, what was it, every week or month for a while.
In your ass?
After that, I think they were all in my shoulder after. It's funny how I can't exactly remember, but
Which hurt worse, shoulders or ass?
ass. I think those are the big fatties right in the ass.
Probably because you walk and your glutes feel the pain more.
And then when I got
So that's why you've never gone running since?
Right.
exactly, that's the reason why. And when I got
And
back,
that's why.
the funny thing is when I got
I
back
don't
to
do physical
work,
activity.
they had gone out and bought this huge kite, I guess, that was a bat, and suspended it over my desk. And at the time, they still did those animated screensavers on your computer, and
Sure.
they had
The dancing baby from
bats flying all
Ally
over
McBeal.
my screensaver. They got me a thing of fall flowers with all these bats coming out of it. It was this, and they called me the Bat Woman, and they made pictures of me all over the office with the bat mask and stuff. So I have. If that night I seemed weird about bats, there is a reason.
I understand so much better now. And I feel like the whole situation is so much funnier. 8 years later, learning the truth. I learned your truth and you learned your truth.
So there it
That
is.
was early in our relationship. Had that happened tomorrow, I would have been like, is there any possibility you might be slightly overreacting?
I'm sure you think you got hit in the face by
I
a
was
bat.
cool. You heard how chill I was.
Yeah.
Jason would be like, why don't we take option 2?
Let's just see
Like-
how it goes, babe.
We're on a high deductible plan. So
Let's just see what happens.
Your
I mean,
life insurance
we're
is
gonna-
paid up. Death by bat?
we want to do this episode on expensive Chard in California. We can't really afford your
Can't
rabies shots.
This is
Take some Tylenol. I'm fine.
It'll be fine. Rub some dirt on it.
I really don't know how we got there.
The boot. Slap the bag.
Boot to bat.
Slap in
Bad
the
to
bag.
Slap in the bag. Cougar juice.
Drinking
Meeker
out
wine.
of a vase.
Drinking out of flower vases. Classy
Meeker
like.
wine.
There we go.
That was before we were classy wine people. I mean, I feel like, though, that's important for listeners to know our origin story of drinking out of flower vases.
Every now and then we
Hey,
do a flashback episode.
We were drinking Charles Shaw, like the best of them at one point.
Sure. We still have a case of it right there.
I did, in fact, because I was solo.
I was solo. Can you do a good Moz?
No, I can't. But there's a software we use at work called Moz 360, and every time I'm like,
Just yell, Han Solo.
no.
I can't.
I'll
do
work
it.
on it,
Okay,
Scott.
thank you.
My point was, this is very important, guys. We have 2007 and 2008 Charles Shaw up there.
And you know what?
And
It's aging well.
so I open from time to time. I'll just see what's going on. And it's surprisingly fine for $3.
Yeah.
Surprisingly
We had
fine.
one like 2 years ago, I think on the Rogue One episode.
Yeah.
Speaking of impressions, send me a text message.
What?
You
Send
want
me a text message.
Somebody
Who?
sent her a text message
Anyone?
already.
I will do it.
Anyone.
Okay, Amy's on it.
Okay. 99 cents. 99 cents, Jawa.
I think it was worth it.
You like that? You like that, Scott?
Ironically,
Yep.
ironically, that actor doesn't get a penny for that.
Do we want to chat last minute? Jeez, Anne, get it together. Last minute, wrapping this up.
Every time.
Super long episode. Do we want to give
Worth
last minute
it.
solo predictions? Because this time next week, we will have seen it.
We could.
So, Anne.
I'm not even breathing anymore. I'm done breathing.
It was the best dollar ever spent in the history of America.
Oh my God, I've never seen Scott laugh that hard in my life.
I've been married to him for 7 years.
I have 32 text messages.
I don't have unlimited data.
I totally don't, actually.
All right, it's done.
Oh, God.
I like when it would go.
You know what Jawas sound like having sex?
Great.
Ah,
Okay,
So
wow,
guys-
you
so
guys,
guys, like-
wow.
You guys.
Oh, all right.
So next week,
this time next week.
Han Solo,
Okay.
or just called Solo.
Solo.
I have been very skeptical of a lot of things. Me.
What? You're never skeptical.
I have been. I'll admit it. But I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic.
I feel super excited because Emilia Clarke is in it.
Who's that?
She plays
She's,
Daenerys, the Dragon Queen from
Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't know that.
She's also Sarah Connor in the latest Terminator.
Okay, so let me just say, like, she's a motherfucking badass.
Was she in Gilmore Girls?
No.
No.
Then Anne doesn't know.
No. Does Gilmore Girls have dragons in it?
No, but you know how I feel about dragons.
I don't know how you feel
Oh.
about
Same as
dragons.
Bath.
Did you have to get a rabies?
No, I can't with dragons. But carry on.
I can't even with dragons,
I
guys.
can't even.
You know, I used to think the same thing. Like, I would not read a book if it had a dragon on the cover.
Same.
Okay, but she made it cool.
Okay. I trust you.
You've seen parts of it.
But I was reading Name of the Wind, Wisconsin author. Good book. But there's a part like at the very end, and there's a thing moving in the woods, and I'm like, oh God, please don't be a dragon. Please. And then it's like, and it has scales. I'm like, please don't be a dragon. It was a fucking dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hers are like badass mofos.
are they like little baby dragons?
To start with.
come out of her-
with.
In the
I think I did see that. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, but she's like the mother of dragons.
I've been called Mother of Dragons at work.
Ooh, that's a
Is that
good
good?
thing. It's very good.
No.
Oh, so she's in it, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
She's the female
She's the
lead.
mother of dragons.
She's the female lead for Solo.
That sounds really good. And I think Jason says Donald Glover only has one Lando look. Do you
Which
want to
is-
do it for us? It's
It's
something with his
it's just eyebrow up.
But
That's
Look
it.
at like he's trying not to fart.
But how?
Yeah.
No, it's hot. That's a hot look. That's like you want it.
Oh,
It's not hot.
I'm not
I
sold.
think it's kind of hot. But
ask me in a week.
I love every image I have seen of Donald Glover as Lando. It just feels like you could not do better
Hey, is
to
he
capture the
Perfect
Oh yeah,
cast.
personality.
Perfect casting for that.
I'm so excited, and I have respect out the ass for that guy, and I'm pretty excited to see what they do. I mean, like, I love Han Solo. I love that we're back to an original character. Let's do this thing. I'm ready.
What I
I'm
was
ready.
finding very fun about this, first off, by the way, remember, it's a Ron Howard movie. It's gonna be good.
That's right.
It's gonna be good. But
emotionally satisfying?
what I like about
Yep.
the few bits of footage I've seen is they have like
Don't spoil it.
Millennium Falcon music, so it sounds very authentic.
No, that's
Like
a
it
good.
feels and sounds.
Like a Star Wars.
Well,
Like a
and
Star
this
Wars
is
movie.
the last Jonathan Kasdan and Lawrence Kasdan. So Lawrence Kasdan wrote
Empire Strikes Back
and Jedi.
and Jedi and Force Awakens.
Co-wrote Force Awakens.
Oh, I'm gonna love this. Did you say Rolling Stone didn't love this?
Yeah, they did not love it.
Do I care about that?
Well, here's the weird thing. So I have been trying to remove myself from any media of this film because I just want to go in, just have a good time.
Yeah,
And
I've been
just
really good
enjoy
about-
the goddamn movie for
Exactly.
once.
I have no idea what to expect.
And somehow I was looking it up and like I saw, like if you Google it, oh, here's why I saw this. Because to your point, because of Donald Glover being super charming in Lando, the rumor is the next kind of standalone movie is going to be a Lando-focused movie.
Oh my god!
I bet you they
They
do.
totally should. I mean,
I
box
bet
office
you.
gold.
Here's what I bet you. I will
Jason,
bet
bug
you.
me.
Here's the things I'm going to bet you. I bet you they do a. I bet you they do a Obi-Wan Kenobi movie first, and then I bet you they do a Lando Calrissian movie.
With Ewan McGregor?
Yeah. Because he's now at the age that...
Would have been in between.
That's a great idea.
Holy ballsack!
Do we need to email somebody?
Well, and it's not like
No, they're
you
on
and McGregor has anything going on lately, right?
He was in Beauty and the Beast. He was the candlestick.
Okay, so it's been a while.
I voted for Beauty and the Beast and Get Out for everything in my Oscar pool at work, and I lost.
Get Out got like screenplay or something. didn't
That's all it got,
Anyway.
yeah.
So we've been away from potting and discussing Star Wars stuff for quite a while. There's lots of Star Wars news we have not talked about. One, director extraordinaire Rian Johnson of The Last Jedi fame has his own trilogy in the Star Wars universe that he's going to be making.
Is it about people that we know?
Look at how excited Anne is.
I know.
Yeah.
It's not. He has not said yet what his trilogy is going to be about.
It's going to be about Commander Akbar. What is
Admiral
General
Akbar.
Admiral Akbar series.
He just starts out as Private Akbar, and he works his way up the
Saving
ranks.
Private Akbar.
Get it? Right. Let's tweet Ryan. So he has a trilogy film series he's going to do. Some of the
Jon Favreau.
We Finn
Well, I'll get to there.
pointlessly running around the universe, the galaxy.
some of the writers of the Game of Thrones have a trilogy film series that they're going to be making. Oh. Jon Favreau has a TV series. That
which
he's
is
gonna be
set
making.
between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens.
Do you see what I mean, though, about the volume?
Yes.
It's
But-
it's just grabbing money out of my pocket, and I'm like, I was good with 3 movies for the first 35 years of my life.
I know what you mean.
I am
Okay.
with you. We're
Okay.
all with you.
Are
but
you?
Would you rather go to a Star Wars movie or not go to a Star
You know
Wars
what
movie?
I'd rather go to is something that is original content instead of remakes.
Well, but it's not a remake.
No, I'm
It's
just saying this
expanding-
about Hollywood in general.
Sure.
all that they're giving us is like, oh, let's do like the 5th movie of this.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
You know, so
But
I'm excited for
live
new
in
stuff.
I like to live in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, keep me in that universe, but give me new content.
And that's what they're going to be doing with those spin-offs.
Yeah.
So you guys might not know this, but there's a whole series about the Knights of the Old Republic, which is set even before the original prequels, about the original like pre-Jedis.
So is there going to be crossover with Game of Thrones and Star Wars? Because that would be cool.
But they're thinking that the Game of Thrones authors will write that because it's a lot of political intrigue.
Yes.
Is it a show or is it a movie?
Trilogy. Movie. Yeah. So there's lots of stuff going on.
This is
to your
exciting.
point, I agree. And like, kind of at some like,
It's going to be
it's
just
going to have a
jetting
different
off and have different fan bases. I'll bet you.
Absolutely.
It's like those Marvel movies, and I don't
Absolutely.
got time for that.
Agree.
Okay.
What? Well, I mean, if you watched the latest Avengers movie and then watched all of them before that, it is like 57 hours of
Yeah, like I
time.
literally don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
Right?
But that's how comic books, like that's a good film representation of comic books.
Yeah.
I don't really give a crap
It's
about
like
comic
you
books.
can
and all that,
waste
but
so much of your life.
Sure.
I have like Facebook to scroll through. I have Gilmore's.
You got rabies
Girl
shots
to
to
check. I
get.
have rabies shots. I'm very busy.
And ain't got time for that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying.
My feeling towards the Solo movie is I think this is one everyone will go into with like the most, hey, let's just have fun. Like, you know, the
Like
Force
the
Awakens.
expectations
Yes.
aren't there.
Force Awakens, everyone's like, this is going to be real. It's going to be a real, air quotes, Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And then you had the
And it
Rogue
was.
One. And you had Rogue One where everyone's like, oh, they're doing this spin-off thing. I don't know. Huge expectations. And then The Last Jedi, everyone's like so polarized or whatever. Like, I think some of that, I don't know what the right term is, but all of those expectations and like the feeling of this has to be the greatest thing in the world instead of, hey, it's a great fun movie, isn't it?
Lando just brings a sense of like playfulness
Exactly.
to the series anyway. That's what his role was.
And I think that's going to be really nice with this. It's like a breath of fresh air of like,
Yeah.
can we get away from that bullshit for a minute and just let's have fun?
Enjoy
yeah.
a
Oh, I
movie.
hope it's that. I hope it's exactly what you said. A couple things to cover. I think reviews. We love them.
Absolutely.
Oh, we
And-
love them so much.
Email us questions, wine recommendations, places that we should be looking into. That's at
Yeah, we did-
winewarspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep. We
Send
did
us
have
tickets
a,
on United to Napa.
Yes, we will
Yes.
go. We will go and do the hard work for you so that you can stay at home and just listen to our
Yeah.
silky voices.
I'm in there.
Right.
I need an aisle seat because I have these long dancer's legs.
I need a window seat because I'm imaginative and creative.
I need a window seat because I like to sleep on myself.
I just want to be seated away from these fools. Also to Twitter. Good stuff happening there. Good stuff happening on the Insta.
We've been a lot more active on Insta.
Insta is a really peaceful and kind place to go on social media.
Like Insta, it's happy.
Well, you know, wine is a nose and mouth game. It's beautiful too. So it works in the Instagram.
Honey, that's beautiful.
Thank
What's
you.
beautiful,
I
very
should put
eloquent.
that on Instagram.
And Facebook, OBS. I mean, I'm 40,
OBS.
so that's where I am. So all of that's Wine Wars Podcast. And rate and review us.
Love
iTunes,
it.
Stitcher,
All the things.
all the things. Okay, and so that's been Wine Wars for this week. And until next time, please remember,
It's
just grape juice.
1, 2, 3, 4. Wine Wars.